Were you asking yourself, which skills should I master if I want to be better at web development? What cloud providers should I choose from for production grade application if my budgets are limited? There are so many languages and frameworks. What should I learn? Overall, what are the best practices of web development in 2024? Hi, I'm Victor, and I have spent almost 20 years in developing web applications, and most of them were delivered with extremely limited resources. This video was made here on YouTube as I never saw the exact approaches that we have shown as a whole, and the info space is mostly full of cloud providers, shilling and recommendations for beginners on how to start quickly and have successful success in just a few hours. So let me show what we exactly focusing on with the practical example of our DevOps iterations. And there will be a few parts. In the beginning, I'll show how we organize infrastructure and deployments of our components. In other words, how to publish a website. And in the following parts, we will dive into typical source code that we are producing now to be fully cloud independent and cost effective. Today, as of 2024, these approaches are 100% different from what they were a decade ago. So I hope sharing our personal experience would be useful for CTOs and software engineers of other small teams. This conversation will expose a brief landscape overview even for beginners in web development. As I start with explaining what skills are considered enough to deliver stable production web-based systems. As you might already discover, the software manufacturing and distribution is conducted in 5 stages. These stages are called DevOps cycle, and effectively this will be your life, spent in an eternal loop of building, testing, releasing, monitoring, and planning the next cycle based on the received feedback. And what makes the development really effective is actually not sharing responsibility within the cycle between different people. That means the existence of only small teams, and every member of team plans and executes your own job, having all these 5 steps in mind. So, number 1 skill to master for newcomers becomes the mindset of the responsibility about the whole application lifetime. And when you're focused on web development, you should adjust your application for the future changing infrastructure, migrating between servers and cloud providers, and reproducing the environments. Unfortunately, we've seen a lot of teams, and my sense that DevOps is a special role, and you can hear phrases like testing is for testers, etc. These are clear indicators that processes of such companies are far from being effective, and projects are much less likely to be stable, reliable, secure, and grow as fast as they could be. To be efficient, you should divide responsibility on the web projects only by functionality and not by the type of work. In other words, having DevOps thinking is much more important than being proficient in specific programming languages nowadays. As a lot of software is already written, it is written well enough, it is designed to be running in isolated virtual environments, and your project after all might consist only of external integrations. That actually concludes that the second important skill is not to write the software whenever you can, because most likely the production grade application might cost you a lot of human hours. So, skill number 2 is integrating third-party software into the project, which means the ability to organize a project into microservices, virtualize your own builds so it would never be it works on my machine issue, use pre-built software that from other vendors, including the languages that you don't know and problems that is too hard for you to solve. Configure and load balance web traffic to your services. Keep the whole infrastructure of the project as the source code. Finally, the remaining set of skills is actually about the building your own applications. To rush ahead of the talk, in this series I will mention usage of the following technologies, which are pretty enough to make things done. They include building static and interactive web pages, programming and sharing server-side APIs, designing databases and monitoring your services. It's obviously nice to know JavaScript, and as you noticed, it's not on the list here, but it might be not a big deal anymore, as we will succeed with something viable, fully working without it. Ready to build something? Let's make our hands dirty to look at all of it in details in the next videos.